This broadcast is sponsored in part by Hendrick Automotive Group. Live from Charlotte, this is WBTV News, on your side.
Now at 11, planes flipped, an airport hangar flattened as severe weather whips through the area. We're seeing heavy damage to homes and businesses.
And a family in Hickory takes a cover as a possible tornado lashes out at their home.
I thought the whole house was gone.
Which she says actually saved her and her loved ones. We have team coverage tonight of the storm damage across our region. We have reporters from Watauga County to Cleveland to Catawba and Iredell counties. They've been out in the elements all day. We're going to get to them in just a moment. But first, you may be watching us on your phone tonight because more than 40,000 people are still without power at this hour. Good evening and welcome. I'm Molly Grantham.
Paul Cameron, some schools have already altered schedules for tomorrow. Here's a new drone video. Flooding going on in Boone. Some streets look like rivers. Watauga and Caldwell County, as well as Hickory schools, all 2 hours later tomorrow. Some Caldwell schools will also be closed because of damage, though Alexander and Cleveland County schools will be closed for students, and classes are canceled for Lenore Ryan University.
Tonight, part of the Hickory Regional Airport is decimated. This is new video. Planes flipped, cars on top of one another, hangars reduced to rubble. Hickory officials think a tornado touched down around 5 o'clock tonight. Crews taped off the area that is now really just a big pile of debris. No one was hurt, but a really surreal scene for anyone that's ever been there before. And the Hickory Crawdads ballpark will need a lot of repairs. About half the outfield wall at LP France Stadium came down tonight. The team posting these pictures on Twitter. Thankfully, no one got hurt there either. Paul?
Well, Molly, I mentioned this flooding, the main problem in Boone throughout the day. Here's a video near the Walmart. You can see cars submerged in several feet of water. This is always a trouble spot. The water got so deep at least 60 apartment units were flooded out. The rain hit about 4:30 and just didn't seem to stop. Our Steve Onosorge has more from Boone, all new at 11.
There'd been heavy rain in Boone on and off all day. But when this hit, the floodgates opened. The Boone Mall parking lot flooded first. Then near Walmart, folks were trapped. Wes Berry was in this minivan.
Wave of water washed over the hood and stalled out.
Juana Salazar was in her apartment as water rushed in. She got to her car, but then floodwaters carried it away with her in it.
Firemen come get her.
Even as a rainbow signaled the end to the rain, fire crews still had people to rescue, more than a dozen in all. Others escaped on their own. Logan Ham didn't know it was flooding till he heard a pounding on his door. When he opened it,
at least 1.5 feet of water just rushed in.
Several student apartment complexes near Cedar Creek and Meadowview Lane were hit. More than just chemistry textbooks were inundated. Logan's car filled with water. Dozens of students lost their ride. Check out under the hood.
That doesn't look good.
He and others, especially students, are not sure what they'll do next.
A lot of students tell me they don't think they have the insurance to cover a loss like this. They're just glad they have a good pair of shoes. They'll be wearing those out for a while at least. In Boone, Steve Onosorge, WBTV on your side.
In Cleveland County, more widespread damage. Fallen trees snapped power lines you can see here and slammed into houses. Our Ron Lee continues our team coverage from Cleveland County.
Just to give you a sense of the enormity of the situation we're talking about here, some of the more dangerous areas that I'm trying to get to show you pictures of, I simply can't do that because of all of the roadblocks, just like the one you see behind me. I talked to volunteer firefighters and they say it's simply too dangerous with all the power lines wrapped in trees that have fallen across the road. They have to wait until morning to get in there and clean it all up. Folks around this area assessing the damage and quickly taking to chainsaws to try to clean this mess up. Both trees and power lines dropped, causing major roadway headaches for anyone trying to navigate these streets. For some, it wasn't just the falling debris they had to contend with, but also damage to the place where they call home.
The underpinning of the house is gone, ripped the front door off, shutters. It's done a lot of damage.
But it wasn't until late in the evening when people started coming home from work that the full extent was seen. This house scarred from a direct tree strike when the wind pushed over a huge oak. Buried under tons of lumber were also 2 cars, now scrap metal, a third with heavy damage, and most of a barn. The residents tell me this is pretty tough to deal with.
Especially once I seen it, it's awful, it's devastating.
And there isn't much debate on what the culprit was.
The first thought was probably more than likely it was a tornado touchdown.
The good news so far is that no one was seriously hurt. Reporting from Bellwood, I'm cameraman Ron Lee, WBTV on your side.
Catawba County also picking up after some of the worst of the storm tonight. Firefighters in the area, they're also asking residents to stay off the roads because of downed trees and power lines. Our Amanda Foster has one family story of survival in Hickory.
Well, I spoke with first responders tonight. They say the biggest thing they want people to know is to stay inside tonight if you can. Lots of downed power lines, lots of dangerous roads throughout the area. And I spoke with one woman who weathered the storm in her own home tonight. She also has a stern warning.
Within just a few seconds, the whole house started rattling.
Amanda Pruitt stands with her mother-in-law over the damage caused by Monday night's storm. She was home with her 15-year-old son when she got the WBTV First Alert tornado warning, then the warning to take cover.
If it wasn't for the hat, we probably wouldn't survive this.
Pruitt says she knew to hide out in her bathtub, so that's what they did.
Debris was hitting the house all over. We heard a big crash.
Terrified, the mother and son tried consoling one another through the storm.
And the sound, you couldn't even hear yourself talk, or, you know, and we were like kind of yelling. It was so loud.
After those heavy winds passed, they came out to find this tree across their home. The Pruitts in awe now of what they experienced.
It's nothing to play around with.
Now she's urging others to take these warnings seriously.
Just get to the bathtub or a safe place and take cover. Just be careful.
Well, thankfully, her family does have a place to stay tonight, and she says tonight she's thinking about all those other neighbors affected by this storm. In Hickory, Amanda Foster, WBTV, on your side.
And this just into our newsroom. Burke County adding its list to the name of schools affected for tomorrow. Burke County will have 2 hours later to start.
And Paul, more flooding video now from Statesville. You can see cars and trucks driving through the water. We were there as police closed Broad Street because of the rain and the flooding. A power pole on a main road in Mooresville also snapped during storms. This happened on West Plaza Drive near I-77. Power lines ended up on the ground, traffic was delayed, and some businesses lost power. WBTV's Alex Giles is live there now. Alex, is the power back on?
Molly, it is not. We're going on about 6 hours now that a few of the businesses in this area have been without power, but some folks are trying to change that. You can see here crews are hard at work. They've been this way for a couple hours now trying to right that power pole that got knocked over. Someone working out here actually sent us some photos from earlier in the day when that pole first cracked. They told us they heard a loud snap and then noticed the pole had cracked off. This was when it was very rainy and windy out, they tell us. This created quite a mess in this area. Power crews have been here now for a while trying to fix the pole. A Hardee's and a Cracker Barrel are without power. They are, of course, closed. The hotel behind us also without power. They've been offering refunds to people staying there tonight. We spoke to managers at a couple of these businesses about the issue.
My main concern now is our coolers, our freezer, whether they get the power back or not.
It's very dark. You can't see anything. All of our systems are down, so it's just kind of hanging out, making sure nothing bad happens.
Very dark in these buildings this evening. I'm told by employees at the Hardee's that they're supposed to have people show up back at 4 a.m. for the breakfast shift. They hope they have power by that point. Reporting in Mooresville, Alex Giles, WBTV, on your side.
I bet a lot of people that eat there hope that is the case too. Alex, thank you. If your power is out tonight, here's some helpful information for you. Only use flashlights for emergency lighting because candles can cause fires. Most food that needs refrigeration can be kept safe in a closed fridge for hours, so don't keep opening it. And make sure you never use generators inside your home or garage.
And tonight, the Red Cross has opened several shelters in our area, one of them at South Caldwell High School on Spartan Drive in Hudson. The other is in Watauga County at the Alliance Bible Fellowship Church Hall on North Carolina Highway 105. That's in Boone.
Our meteorologists were ready for today's storms. They issued a first alert day last night.
And meteorologist Lee Brock live in our First Alert Weather Center will look at what happened today weather-wise. A lot.
Oh, a whole lot happened. Yeah, we had all kinds of warnings. We had severe thunderstorm warnings, tornado warnings. You just saw all our reporters out, all our photographers have been out today surveying all the damage. We had 30 35 damage reports just in the WBTV viewing area alone. Most of them right along this corridor right here from South Carolina and the North Carolina-South Carolina border all the way through Cleveland County up into the eastern part of Burke County, Catawba County, and then from there up into Alexander and also Caldwell County. So that one line really got the worst of it. Many areas, though, at least had thunderstorm damage. Let's take a look at this. Here's the progress it's made. Notice how many areas are not only dry, but clear now. We've seen the rain push well off to the east. It's now actually over the triangle. We don't even have many clouds left around here, so there's certainly some good news. As far as the watch is concerned, there's that tornado watch. It's been scaled all the way back to the triangle and areas to the east. That does go until 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't think that's even going to last that long. Things are starting to improve there also. Let's check out our futurecast. We are already looking better here. Here's the heavy rain off to the east over the triangle. Put this into motion heading into the morning hours tomorrow. Not a bad start to your Tuesday. Not terribly chilly first thing in the morning. We're not going to see the drastic temperature drop tomorrow. We will see clearing skies, though, and by the middle of your week, that's when we start to see some temperature changes. Here are the temperatures overnight. Most areas stay in the 50s through the overnight period. Not too much of a drop just yet, but really cool, very fall-like weather is not far away. I'll tell you when to expect that in just a couple minutes.
Lee, our storm coverage will continue in just a moment, but don't forget you can always send us your storm pictures or video if it's safe to do so. You can submit them by using the WBTV weather app.
And new now at 11 o'clock, Charlotte's City Council has accepted more than $1 million from the U.S. Justice Department to help with unprocessed rape kits. Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police has more than 600 right now. Federal grants will go towards providing more forensic testing for the department.
Next at 11 o'clock, new information tonight about Ashe County's sheriff, now suspended as he faces a number of criminal charges. Nick Ochsner investigates next.
And we're going to take a look at flooding in Charlotte today after a serious line of storms. It was busy. You're watching WBTV, Charlotte's best choice for news at 11 o'clock, and we're back right after this.
Halloween can be scary, good fun for most of us, but for some children it can be very frightening. I talked to a local therapist who tells us how to recognize if a child is overwhelmed and how you can help them cope. Tomorrow on WBTV News This Morning.
Introducing the Distractible Course, built to test Honda Sensing, an available suite of safety and driver assistive technologies. It can tell you about things you might not see and even help stop you from hitting them. It can also let you know when you drift out of a detected lane and adjust the steering to assist you back on track. Honda Sensing, just another innovative way Honda is looking out for you.
What do you want from your health care?
I want care that's easy to find and easy to get.
Don't see me next Tuesday when I'm sick right now.
Faster. Give me that.
Less waiting and waiting rooms.
See, she knows what I'm talking about.
I care so much about this little guy right here. I want someone to love him as much as I do.
We hear you. So this is urgent care reservations online, 24/7 virtual visit, and same-day care you can trust. This is the care you demand. Carolina's healthcare system.
Hendrick.
When buying a Honda in Charlotte, you only need to remember one name, Hendrick. Only Hendrick has 4 convenient locations to serve you and 2,000 new Hondas available to choose from. Visit any Hendrick Honda store in Charlotte and ownahonda.com.
I was a good soldier. I had purpose, and I loved it.
You never told me you were a hero.
I'm not. You're right. No, I'm not all right. I'm alive because of you. We're brothers. We look after each other.
Thank you for your service. Rated R.
WBTV News app is sponsored by Subaru South Boulevard and Subaru Concord.
You deserve the truth. From people who work hard to go get it. Local people you can trust. You've got no time for fake, left-wing, right-wing junk on the internet. You're after the truth? Good. We're on your side.
New tonight, the Ashe County Sheriff off the job, ordered suspended by a judge after an indictment on 6 criminal charges. The indictments all stem from the public records request submitted by WBTV back in April. Our investigative reporter Nick Ochsner has been investigating the sheriff for months and has more on today's developments from Ashe County.
Ashe County Sheriff Terry Buchanan faces 3 felony counts of obstructing justice and 3 other misdemeanor counts, all stemming from his refusal to provide us records responsive to a public records request we made in April, and then trying to investigate other county employees who did try to give us the responsive documents.
Do you have any questions about any of those 3, sir? No,
Ashe County Sheriff Terry Buchanan stood next to his lawyer in court Monday afternoon, still wearing his sheriff's badge, even though he was there to answer for 6 criminal charges. The indictments were handed down by a grand jury earlier in the day and specifically relate to a WBTV records request for text messages between Buchanan and Ashe County commissioners that could shed some light on how he came to be appointed sheriff in January. District Attorney Tom Horner asked a judge to suspend Buchanan from his office pending a full hearing to remove him permanently.
Motion to immediately suspend from office and notice of removal hearing.
Buchanan was released on a $25,000 bond and had to surrender any county property.
Mr. Buchanan is to turn over any master keys to county property. Further, any county-owned equipment that is in his possession is to be turned over.
Monday's criminal charges and court hearing were a stark contrast from Buchanan's initial response to our request in April.
We have never had a Charlotte reporter come up here to inquire on anything,
where he questioned even having to respond to our records request.
We don't have time for this. Everything we have is public document. But this takes away from all of our jobs, takes away from my job, keeps us from doing what we have to do.
On Monday, Buchanan didn't make a statement after being charged and even hid from our cameras, so we couldn't ask him questions. Now, Buchanan's next court date's November 13th. The district attorney has also indicated he may indict other county officials related to our same public records request from April. We still, by the way, haven't gotten some of the responsive records from the sheriff. Reporting in Ashe County, Nick Oxner, WBTV, on your side.
New at 11 o'clock, a local tattoo shop broken into again. One of the owners of the Charlotte Tattoo Factory says there was a break-in at his store for the second time in less than 2 weeks. Now, this is video from the first time in which Gary Hunter says the guy used cement pavers to smash his way into the shop. These are all pictures from that time, and then stole jewelry and money. Now, this time around, owners say someone kicked in the back door and took more money from the register. No arrests have been announced.
The hearing for Army Sergeant Bo Bergdahl, scheduled to continue on Wednesday. It got underway this morning at Fort Bragg. Proceedings lasted less than an hour and a half. Bergdahl pleaded guilty to desertion and misbehavior before the enemy last week. He admitted to leaving his post in Afghanistan in 2009 and says he was later captured by the Taliban. President Donald Trump was very critical of Bergdahl during his campaign.
You know, in the old days, boom, firing squad. No, it's true.
The people who are to the point of saying, yeah, just shoot them, you can never convince those people to change their minds.
In an interview published yesterday, Bergdahl suggested to the Sunday Times of London the Taliban were more honest people than the U.S. Army. Bergdahl is expected to testify during a sentencing hearing. He faces a possible life sentence.
We continue our coverage now of storm damage in the Carolinas. We just got video from Spartanburg County, South Carolina. A number of 18-wheelers overturned. Many cars busted up. Officials with the National Weather Service say they are pretty confident when they look at this video. A tornado hit this area, but they will officially survey the damage tomorrow.
And a little closer to home, this is video from Lincoln County. Trees on homes and on roads, roofs knocked off. Over to Burke County now, large trees coming down just very close to this house. It took part of the patio as well.
And Paul, Charlotte wasn't spared today either. Heavy rains led to flooding. Now, this is an area that often sees bad flooding, North Tryon and East 16th Streets. Conditions have since improved here at 11:15, but earlier tonight it was getting pretty high.
All right, we've talked about boom, many cars and trucks trying to make it through the flooding. Here's video from Highway 321 sent by Logan Mariner. Logan said shortly after this video was taken, well, they saw a great big rainbow.
In fact, many of you saw rainbows tonight after the storms passed. We have a picture of a double rainbow our staff caught in Ashe County. I think photographer Kevin Marlowe got that picture. It is a beautiful, beautiful picture. We saw some from reporter Steve Onesorge of the cars in the flooding with a rainbow behind it. It was sort of this contradiction of the beauty behind the storm that caused it.
The storms go out and it clears out and we get beautiful sights like that. Lee Brock, very busy night, lots going on. You showed us that path. It really almost everything was confined to that one path going north.
Yeah, you're exactly right. We had this just warning after warning after warning right in a line, right from basically the North Carolina, South Carolina border all the way up to Virginia. It just did not stop. We saw kind of the same thing a couple weeks ago when the last system moved through, when Nate moved through. Just that one batch of batch of storms basically moved through parts of Burke County and then up to the north from there. So kind of the same setup even this time. Now we're certainly making progress. Look at this. We have all of this action off to the east of us now. Back to the west where we are, we're clearing out, we're drying out. Most of us have completely clear skies right now. You'll know that tomorrow morning when you wake up and see that sunshine again, and it certainly will be nice to see after the evening we've had. All of this rain is pushing off to the east. There goes the cold front moving out of our picture. So we still have a tornado watch, but it is way off to the east of us now. That goes until 2 o'clock for the triangle areas off to the east of that. We're down to right now just one aerial flood warning, and that's for part of Burke and Caldwell County. That goes until 1:30 in the morning. We've just seen so much rain in such a short amount of time, the ground just can't handle it in a lot of cases. We had more of those flash flood warnings. Most of those were allowed to expire, or even some of them were canceled early. Here's your Scott Clark Nissan Honda HD Tower Cam looking so much better than just a couple of hours ago. There were times when we just could not even see the city because the rain was coming down so hard and fast. It was just almost whiteout conditions just because of the rain itself. Now, we've already seen some changes. We were in the 70s earlier today, now back to 62 degrees. The dew point, that has also certainly changed up. We were also in the low 70s for dew points. It was wet. It was tropical out there. Now, at least we've fallen back to the 60-degree mark for a dew point. We'll fall even more from there over the next couple of days. We'll talk about that in a second. For now, here are your temperatures. Upper 50s, low 60s, that's how we stack up this evening. We'll continue to fall slowly through the overnight period. First thing out the door in the morning, a brand new day. Whole new air masses coming in, lower humidity, a whole lot of sunshine. 52 degrees, that's going to be your morning time temperature. Then for the rest of your day, not a bad day. 66 at noon. You can actually get outside for lunch tomorrow. Couldn't do that today. Or for the evening hours, certainly today. 4 o'clock temperature, right around 70 degrees. We've still got plenty of sunshine to go around. Check out all those suns. 0% chance of rain after the day we've had. We will take it. Now let's talk about dew points. I just showed you we have a dew point right now in the low 60s. We were in the 70s earlier in the day. Heading into the day tomorrow, this is about 24 hours from now, we're going to have dew points back in the 40s. So you're going to start to notice that difference certainly. Then we'll head into Wednesday. It goes even lower. Many of us will have dew points by then in the 30s. So the fall-like weather, it's really going to come. It's finally going to get here after we've waited so very long for it. Low rain chances, that's one of the main things we're going to be looking at over the next few days. Got almost 2 inches of rain just at the Charlotte airport alone. Many areas got totals like that. Heading into the day tomorrow, we can finally dry out again. 72 degrees your Tuesday high temperature. Heading into Wednesday, a cool start. 41 degrees, that's your morning time temperature. 62, that's going to be your high. 39 degrees, even cooler on Thursday morning with a high of 65 degrees. We are back in the low 70s on Friday. The weekend, that doesn't look half bad. Pretty low rain chances. Temperatures mainly in the 60s. Then by next Monday, that's when we see more changes coming this way. Upper 50s with rain. It's not a very pleasant thing to think about. So all the more reason to enjoy all of these days before we get there. So there's your forecast. We're going to send things back over to you.
Lee, thank you. Coming up, the Charlotte Hornets on the road tonight. Delano is up next with sports.
Closed captioning on WBTV News is sponsored by Subaru South Boulevard and Subaru Concord.
Not seeing a lot of people talk about what really needs to happen in specific parts of the city to change these outcomes.
Join WBTV as we host a special community conversation on the rising homicide rate here in Charlotte.
As well as what's being done in our area to keep you safe and the hope we have in our community to come together to make a change.
We haven't got to the point of where we are telling people how to solve or settle their differences.
We've got to find ways to sit and talk things out.
Homicide and Hope, Friday at 7:30.
First Alert Weather App is sponsored by Subaru South Boulevard and Subaru Concord.
I dropped it on the floor, and he stepped on it.
No matter how you broke your smartphone, there's only one smart way to fix it. Batteries plus bulbs. Schedule your repair at batteriesplus.com.
I got a curb violation. B13 in pursuit.
Uh-oh. Honey, hurry.
Pardon me, ma'am. Excuse me. Sorry. Excuse me, sir. Sir.
Hit the left gate!
Pardon me, excuse me. Excuse me, sir. Pardon me, excuse me.
Nice work.
The 2017 Toyota RAV4. Lease a new 2017 RAV4 XLE for just $209 a month for 36 months. Toyota, let's go places.
So the satellite went out last night in the rain in the middle of my show. I've had it. We're switching to Spectrum.
Wait, what? Honey? All right, you've got free HD and free primetime on demand.
Yeah, right. Free.
Yeah, it's free.
Get Spectrum TV with superior HD in any weather. Plus thousands of titles free on demand. Just $29.99 a month. Call 844-575-2999.
And you get 100 megabit Spectrum internet.
100? Is that even legal?
Shouldn't you get ready for work?
Get the fastest internet starting speeds for the price, just $29.99 a month, plus unlimited nationwide calling with Spectrum Voice. Call 844-575-2999.
Okay, you're all set.
That's a deal, huh? 1-year contract?
No, no contracts.
What happens on Maple Street stays on Maple Street.
Get Spectrum TV, internet, and voice for just $29.99 a month each, with no contracts. Call 844-575-2999.
The Honda Perfect Accord sales event is your chance to get an incredible deal on the Accord, which has been named to Car and Driver's 10 Best list a record-breaking 31 times. Race in to the Honda Perfect Accord sales event and get a great deal on the Accord today.
WBTV Sports Desk is sponsored by Jack in the Box.
Welcome back to Sports. Charlotte Hornets back on the road tonight at Milwaukee after a successful home debut this past Friday when they beat the Atlanta Hawks. Hornets took their 1-1 record to Milwaukee. Frank Kaminsky with the play of the night. That's right. I said Frank Kaminsky with authority. That's what you're doing, Frank. Kemba Walker, another productive game, scored 15 with some of that Kemba flair. Dwight Howard, get this, had 8 points, and he grabbed 22 rebounds. Frank Kaminsky, though, led the way with 18 points. To tie the game late in Milwaukee. Milwaukee, a very tough team. I mean, they're really very talented. Milwaukee, though, too tough down the stretch, coming up with the big plays, like the 3 from Chris Middleton here as he finished with 20. Bucks won at 103-94. Hornets now 1-2. They host Denver Wednesday at 7 at the Spectrum Center. Hey, Panthers with one of their most disappointing games in recent memory yesterday in Chicago. The Bears won by scoring 2 defensive touchdowns. How did the Panthers bounce back from 2 straight losses? Well, if you ask me, there seems to be no energy on the Panthers sideline. Somebody has got to step up and be a leader on offense. They have plenty on defense, but offense just a little shaky. To borrow a line from the great movie Mr. Holland's Opus, there's no there there. A lot of fans want to know what's wrong with the Panthers. What do you think, Coach?
It's that old saying is everybody has a plan until you get hit in the mouth. Well, we got hit in the mouth yesterday. Whether it was by our own doing or by them, but we have to find out who we are, and I think and now this will be a good test. We got a division foe coming in that's a young and upcoming team, so we're going to have to react and find out if we are where we believe we are or where we should be.
All right, well, another big Friday shaping up this week on the high school football scene. Week 11 of the 12-game regular season on the horizon. Don't forget to vote on our Football Friday Night Game of the Week. Sponsored by Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina. Your choice is West Lincoln at East Lincoln, Lincolnton at North Lincoln, CFA Academy at South Lake Christian. You have until noon tomorrow to get it done. I'm going to announce the winner tomorrow at 6 and 11. Ashley Stroline and I will visit you Friday afternoon with live previews during our afternoon shows here on WBTV. Don't forget about the WBTV Sports app, the Paramount Kia of Hickory Sports app for all of your sporting needs. We're back with more news right after this.
The 2017 Kia Sorento has an available surround view monitor. The Jeep Grand Cherokee does not. Discover the tech-savvy Kia Sorento. Get up to $4,500 total cash on a new 2017 Sorento.
There was a time when the turn of the seasons meant turning inward, when we paused to reflect on the bounty of the harvest and the gifts of the earth, when each ruby leaf and garnet blossom was received as a glittering gem. There was a time when we gave thanks for every passing moment of our ever more precious days. It was a more thoughtful time. It was yesterday at Biltmore. Experience Biltmore for up to $10 off when you purchase tickets in advance.
The 2017 Kia Sorento has an available surround view monitor. The Jeep Grand Cherokee does not. Discover the tech-savvy Kia Sorento. Get up to $4,500 total cash on a new 2017 Sorento.
What you gonna do with all that stuff?
All that stuff, it's quite enough.
Why you gotta be so tough? I really like all of my stuff. My stuff, my stuff. My stuff, my stuff, my stuff.
Clean it up. We got a place for all your stuff. Storing your stuff, it ain't backed up from shelves to drawers and
Bumps to bins at Room to Go Kids. Everybody wins. We're barely spending, saving lots of money, honey. Rooms to Go Kids and Teens. Check it out.
The free WBTV News app is now on Roku.
The model year-end savings event is on at Kia of Gastonia. Right now, lease a new Kia Soul for only $99 a month and get up to $10,000 back on new Kias. Don't miss the model year-end savings at Kia of Gastonia today.
The Honda Perfect Accord sales event is your chance to get an incredible deal on the Accord, which has been named to Car and Driver's 10 Best list a record-breaking 31 times. To celebrate, we have amazing offers on the Honda Accord, which has a 5-star overall vehicle score safety rating. The Honda Accord is also the best-selling car in its class. Race in to the Honda Perfect Accord sales event and get a great deal on the Accord today at your Honda dealer.
Yeah.
A triangle solo? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much money Sam and Joanna saved by switching to Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
The model year-end savings event is on at Kia of Gastonia. Right now, lease a new Kia Soul for only $99 a month and get up to $10,000 back on new Kias. Don't miss the model year-end savings at Kia of Gastonia today.
For accurate breaking news coverage, trust Sky 3 and WBTV News.
All right, here's your forecast. A much better day coming in tomorrow. Rain out of the picture. 72 degrees, that's your high temperature on Tuesday. Chilly start to Wednesday, though, 41, 62. Those are cool numbers for Wednesday and Thursday. Low to mid-60s for highs. Low 70s on Friday, then by this weekend, we're back in the 60s again. These are a little more fall-like, but next week, 50s for a high.
Good weather for the Wednesday Crime Stoppers golf tournament. Thanks.
Yes, there you go.
Thanks for making us your first choice for news at 11.